live like I do every night. Welcome everyone to join. Leave a live comment. What I do each night is I pick a topic I want to talk around. It's a structured topic, something I'm going through in life, something I've been through in life, or just something I want to talk out. But when you leave a live comment, we could talk about anything. It really doesn't matter to me. Downsizing, divorce, or whatever. It doesn't really bother me. But what I want to talk about tonight, as the structured topic, is reflecting on a 7 game series. Star Pack on a live check in, always checking in. Star Pack, what's up, brother? How was your day? My thoughts um, that I was thinking about today was a 7 game series. In life, you're going to lose. Okay, you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna speak up at work and you're gonna be wrong. You're going to try something and you're gonna fail. You're gonna get the losing end of a relationship. You're going to fail at an investment. You're going to, uh, God forbid, get in an accident, do something where they often say like, "Oh, you're winning in life." Sometimes you lose. You have bad days and things don't go your way, whether it's due to your own decisions or whether it's due to just luck. So part of life is just luck. What I try to focus on for myself as I mature is life is a 7 game series. Human nature is to overreact. You lose one game, people start to get nervous. You lose 2 games in a row, and people start to say, "Oh, they got no shot now. They can't win. They can't win. They basically, they lost." But in sports, I'm thinking about basketball specifically. Many teams um, overcome being down a couple games in a series, and to win a championship, very rarely do you ever win every game of the regular season and every game of the playoffs. Throughout the season and specifically throughout the playoffs, you don't win every game. Our minds are wired that we have to get the best of every deal. And champions, people who win championships, not just in sports, but in life, you understand what I'm saying? This is about greatness. This is about overcoming. This is about being our best selves. You have to learn how to manage losses, manage your mind, not to overreact, not to press the issue, not to get into negative self talk, not to try to overcompensate for a failure, for a loss, for a mistake. Managing losses is a key ingredient in being able to win more. I know different times in my life where I got the losing end of a relationship, I pressed it. I felt like I was losing like the power struggle of a relationship, and I started pressing it even more. And it made me lose even more. You speak up at the job, something happens, or you offer your opinion and you're wrong. What should you do? Just take that loss. Don't try to make too many excuses. Don't press the issue. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and live to fight another day. And that's how you avoid like digging a huge hole for yourself. It's not easy. It requires self-control. There's a scripture that says, um, without self-control, a person is like a city with broken down walls, meaning that anything can penetrate it. Anything can penetrate your spirit when there's no self-control. I mean, is self-control easy? No. I mean, do we always have it? No. Self-control is a goal. It's a goal to be mindful of not overreacting, not being over emotional, stepping back, disciplining ourselves a little bit. We're still going to be human. We're still going to be emotional beings. We're still going to overreact a little bit. But when you're mindful of something, when you have an aim, when you have a focus, you tend to be better. It's always the end game to be better. No one's perfect. Often say that perfection is the root of all disorders. OCD, everything has to be perfectly in order. What is that? That's a mindset that wants perfection. Eating disorder, what's that? You want your body, you want a certain image, you have a disorder. Perfection, the idea of perfection is the beginning of any disorder. Thinking you're going to win every day in life is a disorder. Why? Because you're trying to have a perfect life. There's no such thing. So be thankful for what you have. And even during the losses, as painful as they are in life, when you have bad days, when you have off days, when things don't go exactly how you want, just remember that you have to have a mindset of a champion, to look at the 7-game series, to look at the fact that even if you lost a game or lost a couple games, the objective is still to win. If you've lost 3 games, all you have to do is win 4. So if you win 4 out of 3 games, you only won one more time than you lost, but you still won the championship. And then if you break down a game, inside of a game is quarters. In basketball specifically, there's 4 quarters. Very rarely does someone win all 7 games of a series and every single quarter within that game. So the objective is not to win a quarter. The objective is to win all 4 quarters. The objective is not in life to win every single game, even though that would be nice. The overall objective is to win long-term the series. In baseball, you're a Hall of Famer, if you bat 300 or up, basically. Basically, that means you're going to fail 70% of the time. But if you're right 30% of the time, and you get on base and you get a hit, you're a Hall of Famer. What does that tell us? That tells us that we have to have a mindset of not digging the hole too deep when we strike out or when we lose, and just refocusing our mind on long-term strategy. Sometimes when we're in the middle of a day, we think today is like the last day. But today is only one day out of 7 days of the week, right? So if I'm given a parable, an example, a story to illustrate a mindset, a 7-game series is pretty much a week. There's 7 days in a week. So if you have one bad day, does that determine if you win the week? No. If you have 2 bad days, does that determine if you win the week? No. If you have 3 bad days, does that determine if you win the week? No. You can have 3 bad days, but you can, with small steps and with getting back up and with not trying to overcompensate that same day, over the course of 7 days, you can win more than you lose. The key is to try to overcompensate. The key is take a loss some days. Don't press. That's the main thing I'm kind of sharing. And that's a habit. That's a mindset. That's something that you build over time. And that's how you get like a championship mindset, a mindset of dealing with adversity and being able to strategically, try to structure your mind and getting past that. Many times people who've lost their self-confidence is they have a losing day and they can never get over that day. Tomorrow they'll replay today if they had a bad day today. Part of having a 7-game series mindset is remembering the lesson but letting go. Remembering but letting go. And this is how we heal our mind. Because we're going to lose in life. We're imperfect beings. So how do you heal your mind? By having this mindset of, look, I'm in it for a strategic win, a championship win. I'm not in it for have to win every single day, or else, that's unhealthy, because it's unsustainable. It's not how you get through in life. You apply this same mindset to your health, and to your eating, and to, if you didn't get in the gym today, there's a quote on Instagram, and I'm gonna get to all the live comments. Bear with me. I'm just trying to build a habit and knocking out the structure topic within the first 10-15 minutes. There was an inspiration quote that I read on Instagram the past few weeks, which has been inspiring to me. It says, don't let there go 3 days without you going to the gym. So, you're not supposed to go to the gym every single day. You're supposed to at least have one rest day. Your body, your muscles actually grow when you rest and when you heal. That's, your muscles repair themselves when you sleep and when you take time off. When you lift weights, your muscles rip. And then when they heal, when you sleep and when you take rest, and they grow bigger. And then, but you shouldn't go 3 days without working out in some capacity. And there it is right there, right? So, Any more than 3 days, it's like you lose that week. Because if there's 7 days in a week, and if we're talking about a 7-game series mindset, we want to win 4 out of 3. We want to get over that hump. And if we have a bad day, if we didn't go to the gym, or if we ate something wrong one day or whatever, you always have to remember that. What I often share with people, changing my life with my health and everything. Look, you fall, you get back up. Your weight will fluctuate. Every day is not going to be a win. You may have knocked it out the past 2 days where you ate all plant-based and you didn't overeat and you walked a lot, and then you could have an off day. But a lot of times people have an off day, they fail or they fuck up, and then they can't get back up because they beat themselves up. After a loss, you don't beat yourself up. You get back up, you put that behind you, you play the next game because you have a 7-game series mindset. So as I conclude on my structured topic tonight, that's how I view life. It's not easy. When you're in the middle of an emotional loss, of an emotional bad moment, we all want to overcompensate. We all want to press. We're human. There's no way around it, even the most disciplined. But over time, when you're mindful of this principle, it helps. It doesn't make it all better, right? Because no matter what I say, no matter what we all say, losing hurts. I've never experienced life where you take an L in life, whether it's with a relationship, whether having a bad day, or whether it's a serious failure. It never feels good, never. And we have to also say that that's okay. Why is that okay? Because we have to accept that that's life in this world. And we have to say, look, we're going to overcome this by thinking strategically, not beating ourselves up, not being immature. All of a sudden, I didn't have this type of mindset necessarily when I was very young, because when you're very young, you feel like you have to win every single day, every single time. And that's immaturity. And immaturity can cause a lot more pain than necessary. Life, no matter what, is painful in certain times. So we always want to mitigate our pain, make it as less as possible. We always want to promote self-healing, mind, body, and soul. And we always want to be able to look at the big picture. And that's what this is always about, looking at the big picture. Because people who win championships, they don't win every game. They don't win every quarter. They learn how to deal with losses, learn whatever they can, let go of what they need to, and then show up the next day and then push forward step by step. Not trying to make everything up the next time. Not trying to make it up with a rebound relationship. Not trying to make it up, doing something way overreactional. It's, strategic, step by step, little by little. And, that's what's on my spirit tonight. And that's what I want to share, document my thoughts. Now I'm going to roll down my windows, get to the live comments, and we'll see what you guys are doing today. Let's see. Start back good, and yours? Yeah, my day was overall good. Back to work. Some Monday. Overall was good though. I'm thankful. Again, blessed to work with good people. I got a couple birthday cards because my birthday was over the weekend. So a couple people from work gave me a birthday card. I thought that was nice. Gave me a couple of lottery tickets. I won $8. I just cashed it in. Bought some tofu with it. So that was cool. Brud Jr., what's going on? Hey, I'm glad I could catch you tonight, Brud. Good to have you. It's good to have everybody. Look, after I give my little opening spiel, the best part about the live feeds are, you guys who leave a comment, and then, the conversation can go anywhere, and that's what I like. Patience the key. Hey, Sam. Hey, Patience. What's up, brother? How are you, Patience? How was your day? How you holding up? D from New Hampshire. I haven't talked to D on the live chat in a while. Hey, D, how are you? Hey, Sammy and everyone. Smiley face and then squint emoji. D, with that being said, have some water, drink some more water, and cheers to you. Good to see you, D. D, you like that Thor compass? I saw you comment on that. Yeah, that's a cute RV. Well, not cute. It's a bigger Class C, but it's nice. Patience says, doing well, pretty good, thankful, hope you're doing good. Graylin, hey Sam, hello to you. Hope you're doing well. Been a couple weeks. Good to see you, Graylin. Yeah, overall everything's been good, pushing forward in life and being thankful. Keeping positive people around me and pushing forward. And yeah, overall I would say things are good. AJ, that's my brother from Arizona. What's up, brother? Hand wave emoji. AJ, well, how you doing, brother? How's everything out in Arizona, man? Is it hot yet over there? Graylin, thank you, Nomad. Your advice has helped me incredibly. Thank you, Graylin. Look, only almost on a daily basis. Sometimes I say, oh, is it worth it? And the positive feedback I get to me, it inspires me, so it makes it worth it. So I read every comment, not just in the live feed, on all my videos. Now, sometimes that can tax my mind. I mean, you want to go, but also what it does is it encourages me. And I appreciate everyone who takes the effort to write a comment, especially something positive. Very thankful for that. So, love and respect, Raylan. Sailing John in the building. Hello, everyone. Hello, Sam. Sailing John, how's that boat today? How's everything on the dock? What's going on in your world, in the boating life? Janice, hey, Janice, how are you? You cooking tonight, Janice? What are you cooking? Or are you going to a gig? Liz, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. And, yeah, happy Monday, everyone. Today's Monday as I make this live feed, whether you're watching live or you watch the replay. And the hardest part about Mondays, I mean, the hardest part about every day, but Mondays specifically, is showing up. Here it is now towards the end of the day, and I'm thankful that I showed up to work and that I've accomplished, different things I wanted to accomplish. And, but in the beginning of the morning, it's very tough to get there. But I've learned maturity in the beginning of my career. That was the hardest part, just getting to the job. I mean, now I've built my career based on showing up. I mean, you can't build your career without showing up. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how much intelligence you have. I don't care how positive you are. If you don't show up on a consistent basis, you'll never build your career. You'll never build anything, and that's the bottom line. So I say all that to say, I understand in the morning it's very tough, but after you show up and after you get through the day, how do you feel at the end of the day? You feel accomplished. You feel blessed. You feel inspired. And so happy Monday to that. Never forget that. Love and respect. May West. Hey, May. How are you? How's everything going, May? Good to see you. Base is the key. Hey, all. D. I love the Thor. I know you would like that one. D, every time I think about you, I think about the Chinook. The short video I did when I was in Florida. The Chinook. I like those Chinooks, but they don't make them anymore. They went out of business, I think, in 2006. And, there are not too many on the market. Those are cute little RVs, though. But I always think of you when I think of the Chinook. I am doing pretty good. If I was only rich instead of beautiful, laugh out loud. Amen. I hear you. Well, I pray that somehow you get a magical blessing. Maybe should I promote that? I don't know. Maybe you hit a scratch off. I hit $8. I got scratch offs for my birthday from people from work. $8? Can I retire off that? No, but I'm thankful. I remember I was dating a girl. And I don't, same thing. Like, she got a scratch off, and she won like $100. I said, that's great. I mean, look, I know in the big scheme of life, believe me, I understand. $100, $8, it is what it is. But I remember telling her, I was like, man, that's great. You know what I mean? It's good. Be encouraged about that. And she was just like, yeah, it's only $100. And I was like, you got to be thankful. And she was a good person. I'm not trying to speak negative of her, but I'm just trying to say you have to always remember to celebrate small wins. Right, the kind of structured topic today in my opening segment was 7-game series mindset. Dealing with losses, basically. And how do you recover from losses? Small steps forward again, gradually building through small wins. Each trip down the court, you try to get a win, and you celebrate that. I mean, you push forward, and so little by little, like I always say, how do you make $50,000 in a year? You have to make $200 a day, $200 to $250 a day. But a lot of times people look at $50,000 and they get overwhelmed. But how do you get that? $200 a day if you work 5 days a week. You want to make $100,000 a year? How much do you make? $400 a day. Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying to equate into holidays and all that. But if you work 5 days a week, pretty much you have to make $400 over the course of a year. But it doesn't just, happen. It's day by day, step by step, and not every day. Like having my own business, I learned that too. There's ups and downs, right? Like every day you don't make $200. Every day you don't make $400. Some days you lose. All right. Some days, you do a side, you do a job, you do an electrical job, you clean somebody's house, and something happened. It didn't work out, and you had to go back and re-clean the house because they weren't happy with something, or you broke something. Or you did a job for someone and there were more hidden costs than you realized and you lost money on that job. So you may have lost $1,000 one day. So then how do you get that back? You don't try to make $1,000 the next day. What you try to do is just keep going back to, all right, I got to make 200, I got to make 200, I got to make 200, I got to make 400, I got to make 400. You understand what I'm saying? This is a strategic mindset. This is a mature mindset of trying to win a championship with your life. When we try to overcompensate too heavily on the other end, that's when we keep going down a bad emotional way down. That comes with some experience. It comes with getting hit in the mouth in life. But this is what I try to apply to my own life. Good to see you. Patience to keep. I heard today that millionaires' key to success is not associating themselves with negative people. I totally agree with that. Look, I don't even care if you're never going to be a millionaire. If you're just going to live a fun, simple life, I don't care how much money you make. I don't fuck with negative people. I respect everyone. I don't try to hurt anyone, but I just don't associate with negative people. It just makes life worse. I mean, life can already be challenging. Why do you want to make it worse by hanging around negative people? I don't. I mean, I went through a certain phase in life where, I kept certain people in my life for different reasons. But then I'm at the point now, middle of my life, 38 years old. If I don't have a good vibe with them, I just cut them out of my life. It's no disrespect to them, but that's how I got to go forward. And I gotta be in a good space mentally and everything else. I can't mess with people that are negative. I just can't. Patience to keep. Patience to keep. Sorry, people. Sorry, Sam. That's all right. Nah, I understand. No worries. Patience. Give me 3 palm trees emojis. Well, I'll drink some more Starbucks spring water to that. Thank you, Liz. I'll take a palm tree emoji when I can get one. Liz, let me ask you a question. If you could live in any state, Liz, where would you live? Janice, I feel like a better person since listening to you. Well, thank you, Janice. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you, and I appreciate that. That's made me smile. Thank you. Janice, my guy cooked tonight. Oh, Janice got her good man cooking it up. I'm not mad at that. Jake, what's up, Jake? You are changing. Oh man, you guys are making me blush now. You are changing my life with your positive energy and great advice. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't want to start to give this false humility, big speech, but I thank you sincerely for everyone. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate that. Thank you. May West, Mondays equal a new start. That's true too. Now again, I do believe in trying to I try to apply the same mindset to life, whether it's a Monday, Sunday, Saturday, whatever, right? Because I think consistency is the key to all success. That being said, no matter how consistent you are, you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have off days, and it's certainly true that different days of the week have a different feel. I mean, a Sunday feels different than a Monday. Now, certainly, obviously, when you're retired, they all kind of wish together, but they still have different feels. But we just have to remember this overall view of life, right? And not getting caught up in one specific moment, but stepping back and looking at the overall game plan of what we're trying to accomplish. Patience to keep. I don't dread Mondays because I usually have them off. I'm not mad at that. For years, I worked on the weekends. Even my last job, a lot of times I would work Wednesday through Saturday, 10 days, 10 hours a day. Now recently with this new remote position, it's back to a Monday to Friday thing, but it's going to be 100% virtual soon after I do a couple things locally. So I don't mind that. But I used to enjoy working on the weekends, and I used to also, even years back when I worked the night shift, I used to enjoy that to a certain extent because I like being off when everyone else is working, less traffic, and I like solitude. I don't like big crowds. So they can have major pluses. And I liked working at nights too, because no one bothered me. I don't need somebody to babysit me. Just let me know what needs to get done, or whatever, and I'll figure it out and I'll do it. So, but that was different. But that's how I always was. The only part about nights that was a little bit tough, it does fuck up your internal clock. You have to really be structured with yourself. I mean, now I could probably do a little bit better and a little more mature. But back then, that's what really started me too, overeating. But there's some side thoughts on that one. Janice, I was 20 years perfect attendance at work. Wow, that's until my surgery afterwards. Long story. Wow, that's amazing. 20 years perfect attendance. Rare. Good job, Janice. Janice, you worked hard, man. You took care of your business in life. She worked her whole life. She's retired. She got a paid-off house. And she seems very happy and content. She listens to her music. She got a man cooking her dinner. Janice, cheers to you. Somebody give thumbs up to Janice. She's living a dream. I'm not mad at that. D gave Triple thumbs up. Angelina! What's going on, Angelina? Your videos have enriched my life and others, so we're glad to upload all the time. And then she gave like a heart flutter and peace. Thank you, Angelina. That meant a lot. I appreciate that. How was your day, Angelina? AJ. Angelina, I agree. Thumbs up. Thank you, AJ. You know I got love and respect for you. Angelina. Wow, Janice, that's brutal. Sorry to hear that. May West. I agree with Angelina. Thank you, May. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that very much. Liz, where I'm at in Florida. What part of Florida are you at again? Damn, I forgot you were Floridian. I'm sorry, Liz. I apologize for that. What part of Florida, if you want to share? You don't have to share like the town because you want to keep your own privacy, but just like the general area, north, south, east, west. Susan. Hey, Sam. What's up, Susan? Good to hear from you tonight. And then she gives a smiley face emoji. Thank you, Susan. Susan's also on her nomadic journey, and she's healing from her dog passing away. I totally understand that. It took me about 18 months to heal when my dog passed away. And that was like the last attachment I had, so to speak. What does that mean? Like, when I got my dog, I kind of knew I didn't want a relationship at that point, my mid-20s. And I got my dog, I just started overeating and just enjoying life, me and my dog. And then when my dog passed away, it kind of like brought me to a new season of life, right? Because I knew I didn't want to get another dog. One is because like I was really hurt losing my dog. And two is it was a lot of work because I love my dog. Like I spent all my free time I spent with my dog. So I don't have that much left in my soul to give that much of myself. And but it brought me into another season. I'm saying all that to say when Susan shared the other day, she shared on one of my videos, she shared a comment about like she's in a new season of her life, like where she's living mobile, and she's you know, she just lost her dog, so she's trying to like, you know, collect her thoughts on life and where she's going and what she's been through. And it is, you know, it's like a life-changing moment. And you take a step back and you try to figure out, you know, because anytime you lose someone, you know, it knocks you off balance, and you have to find your new balance. But I would say, in my opinion, you know, when you lose a dog, don't try to overcompensate and buy another dog. I'd say you need time to heal. Just like, you know, if you're getting a divorce, you shouldn't get right back into a relationship. Why? Because you're just not in an emotional state to make wise decisions. You know, take the loss. That's what we're talking about tonight. You know, as best you can. I mean, do what you want always. And remember, it's your life. But take the loss. And don't try to overcompensate, because that's how you just go down a bad road, in my opinion, in my experience. Scotty Bay, that's our brother from Canada. Also, a fellow traveler who car camped in his van. He set up a tent, though, when he was in Florida. He stayed at one of my favorite state parks in Florida, because I did a video on it, and then he went down there. I was very proud of him for going down there and doing it. He did it by himself. What's one of my favorite state parks in Florida? Jonathan Dickinson State Park. I believe in Hobo Sound, Florida. One of my favorite. Yep, one of my favorite. I did a video on that. Yep, and Gamble Rogers State Park. That's northern Florida, though, northern East Coast. Those are my two favorite state parks so far in Florida. Scotty B, he went down there in his van, and he set up like a tent, because he got a tent camp, but he was sleeping in his car. But he said when he got back, he said he didn't like that, and now he bought a camper. And I think he said he's going to do like Route 66 this year. Let's see what Scotty B's got to say. Hey, Sam, I just bought a new pickup. Uh-oh, congratulations. Pump up. Put a cap on the back lots of room. Watched your video on your camper. Looks this could be a good choice for your living arrangements. Oh, yeah, for the, he's talking about probably the Thor video, the Thor compass video. Yeah, I don't think I'm not in purchase mode yet. I'll wait till I get back down to Florida, because if I do ever buy something, it's gonna be down there, because that's where I'm staying. I ain't gonna buy something just to drive down here. I mean, the only plus would be if I drive it down here, if I wanted to take my mom or something down there for a little bit. We'll see. But I'm just right now, I'm just looking. I'm still content at this time with my Jeep Renegade, but I'm looking around. But Scotty B, man, congratulations. What type of truck did you get, brother? What type of pickup did you get? Graylin, can you touch a bit on living under your means? Okay. And how that can reduce your overall stress load? Do you find you do better saving money or having convenience? Good question. Well, living below your means mean your expenses are less than your income. You have to have income. You can't live below your means and not have income. So I always have to start there, right? Because you're always going to need a job. And if you don't have a job, you have to have investments that make reliable, consistent income, or you have to be retired where you have reliable, consistent income, such as a pension, Social Security. Living below your means you have income and your expenses are lower than your income. That's the foundation. Then after that, how that helps the stress load is when you take a loss, when you have a bad day, because again, that's what we're talking about tonight. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have some days are going to be losses. You're able to endure and to still enjoy life. When you're living at or above your means and you have a bad day, stress levels go like this. Road rage goes like this. You can't afford to lose a couple hundred extra dollars. You can't afford to pay for a deductible on a car insurance. You can't afford anything to go not right. You can't afford to lose that day because you're totally either at your means or you're already above your means. So when you have a bad day, when you have a loss that day in any way, even if it's not financial, even if it's just in a relationship, guess what happens? Your stress levels go up, you become angry, and everything is based on how you feel and your decision-making process from there. They say most marriages fail not from physical adultery, but from financial adultery. Financial problems is the cause of most marriages failing. And even if you're not married, relationships. And even if you're not in a relationship, just your, like as far as a romantic relationships, just your relationships with your people. Like I said, throughout the course of my career, I've worked with people that lived at or above their means, most have, and I see the tension in their face. How do I recognize that? Because I've been there. That's when I first learned this principle. I was working construction in the beginning of my career as an apprentice, and I made a video about it, and I didn't know anything about finances at that time. I just knew I wanted to make as much money as possible, and that was it. So it was lunch break, and we go to the trailer. You know, in construction, you have like trailers at the job site. It was, you know, and so we all go to a lunch break. We go in the trailer, and at that day, everybody brought their own lunch. So I'm sitting next to a guy, like he was dressed real bummy. He was very simple, and he brought his lunch every day. And he always had a light spirit. He was always laughing, like if something went wrong at the job, like he cared. He was a hard worker. He wasn't a lazy man, but he never sweated anything. And everyone else in that trailer, the other 8 people or whatever, they were always on edge. Like if something didn't go as planned, like they got all upset and they pushed the issue, they pressed. And I didn't understand what the difference was between everyone else and this one guy. And then over time being at that job site, I remember somebody pulling me aside one day. He goes, you know why that guy's never stressed? I said, no, why? He goes, that guy's living so simple. He lives, I think he may have lived out of an RV or travel trailer or small shack house. And, you know, he's worked for, you know, and he just keeps working and he saves his money and he's never stressed. You know, he's got it made. He lives like a king. He looks like a simpleton, but he's living so below his means. He consistently works. He has income. He has low expenses and he doesn't stress. And he wasn't married either. That helped him. But living below your means is the biggest thing that you can control, that will improve your quality of life. But you gotta have income. You gotta cut your expenses. And that's how I feel about that. That's my experience. Good job. Good question. Yolanda. Hey, Sam. Hello to you, Yolanda. Great to be here. Always great to have you, Yolanda. Love and respect you. I moved my room around last night. That feels good. And the energy in the room is incredible. Totally true. I threw out some shit in the side passenger seat of my car. I cleaned it out. It's been sitting there for a couple days. I felt magical, too. I felt more energy. It's true. Like whether you have a house, whether you have an apartment, or whether you live in an RV or car, when you like clean things and reorganize it a little bit, you have energy. You have inspiration. Inspiration, positive energy is important because, look, low energy people don't get things done. It's the way it is. I mean, it's not just like a political slogan. You need to have a certain level of energy. And you need to know how to cultivate that energy and get yourself worked up. You know, sometimes, you know, people comment on some of my videos where I get real intense. They go, oh, man, you're way out of control, too much energy, too loud. But sometimes that's what you have to do to get stuff done. Now, sometimes, too, I've learned over the course of making videos that in the beginning of making videos, like I would shout because I felt like I had to like be loud for people to hear me. So I try to be melatonin, but sometimes I'm intense and I just let it fly. But getting your energy level up is huge for you to get stuff done. If you're like, I don't know, apathetic is the right word. I don't know. I can't think of the definition of that right now. But if you're lethargic, if you're like slothing through the day, you're not going to get things done that you need to get done. You got to work yourself up, you know. And sometimes if it means like, you know, reorganizing or recleaning so you can have a clear focus, then that's what you got to do to get your energy level up. Good job, Liz. Negative people, comma, I totally walked away from a 4-year relationship. That's very hard to do. And good job. Because he was toxic. Toxic's a key word. He was toxic as fuck. AF. That means when you see AF, that means as fuck. It's true. Like, okay. So he was toxic as fuck. You have to have lived, and these type of people will dull your life. Well, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. I've had family members and lovers that were toxic. What will it do? It will destroy your life. You can be rich, you can have all your health, but if you have one unhealthy relationship, it'll destroy your life. Forget if it's toxic, destroy your life. What is toxic? And toxic as fuck? What is that? That's something that kills your soul. Toxic means it's poisonous. It poisons your being. Oh, good job, Liz. I know that's not easy. It's hard to separate yourself. It's very addictive to stay in a toxic relationship. Good job. Love and respect to Linda Sehalin, who's also from Florida. She hasn't commented on my channel in a while, but she was struggling to get out of a toxic relationship, and she was thinking about living in her van. You got to get out of those toxic relationships. Even if you got to watch Jennifer Lopez enough, even if it's not physical abuse, whatever you got to do. Remember that movie, Jennifer Lopez enough? Okay. Janice. That is showing up. Amen. That's right, Janice. Graylin, Janice, thumbs up. That's right. Happiness is what you make of it. Totally agree with that. That's right. Angelina, you go, Janice. Peace, peace, peace. You're my goal. I'm not mad at that. Mae West gives a bunch of thumbs up. I like that. Liz, I'm a relocated New Yorker living in Broward 6 years now. Now, Broward County, let me think about this. I know that. Now, Brevard County is like Melbourne, Central East Coast. Broward County, is that, well, that's like Fort Lauderdale, right? Area? South? Now I was looking at Martin and County, which is a small little thing by Treasure Coast, and then Palm Beach County. But I think Broward County is south, right? Liz, I just need to leave Broward. Oh, you don't like Broward County? Broward's crowded. What is the furthest I go in Florida? Well, now I visit Miami. I visit Boca Raton. I like those areas. But I visit Delray Beach. What's the furthest south on average I like to go in Florida? Juno Beach on the East Coast is the furthest I like to go south. Why? Because once you go further south than that, it's very congested. The traffic is heavy. It's got a more rushed pace. Now, but if you need a job, you got to go below. You got to go into Broward County. I remember one of my trips down to Florida. I don't know if it was this year or last year. I was in Starbucks early in the morning. I just got out of the gym, and a guy came up to me. He goes, "Oh, I saw you. I see." This was at that time. He said, "I see you got New Jersey plates." He goes, "You from New Jersey?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I grew up in New Jersey. What part?" Then we started talking about New Jersey, and then I'll go, how long did you move down here? What do you think? He was like, "Oh, well, I can't deal with the winters anymore, so I would never go back to Jersey. I still go to visit for family members at times." I go, what? At that time, I was still researching what parts of Florida, and I go, "Well, how'd you pick this area?" I think I was in, I was just north of Miami. I had to be like by Fort Lauderdale, in that area, and I go, "What made you pick this area?" He goes, "Well, I wanted to really be by the Treasure Coast, but I had to go to I think he said Broward County, because that's where all the jobs were." And that's like most things in life. Like where there's congestion, there's jobs. That's why there's traffic, because there's a lot of commerce. So you can live in the middle of nowhere, but it's cheaper there for a reason. Why? Because there's not a lot of commerce, and there's not a lot of jobs. So unless you're fully retired or you have your own investments where you can live off of and it doesn't matter, that's an issue for a lot of people. Let me take a water break and then we can get to Susan. Susan. So true, Sam. You're the first to understand so completely. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. When I read your comment, it helped me a little bit too, to heal and to reflect on my own life. That's why it's important to share. I mean, sometimes, look, I want to hide under a rock too and not be bothered with anyone. But that's why I like YouTube. Like, I can connect with people, but it's not too much of a burden. But, I reflect on that scripture. Like, when you confess your sins to others, you heal, and everyone else around you heal. Now, when I say confess your sins, it doesn't mean that any of us are committing a sin, but it's just sharing your story, basically. I think there's value in that. There's definitely not value. Man, that guy's got a loud Honda Civic. All right. Scotty B. Scotty B, he bought a new pickup. Let's see what type he got. He got a 2018 GMC Sierra 1500. What's the tow capacity on that? You got to be able to tow something. Scotty B. Sam, if you bought something in a tax-free state like New Hampshire, could you Could you yourself beat the tax man? I don't know. You bought something. I don't know how that works. I don't want to misquote that. So that I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, obviously, if you buy things in different states, depending on the state tax in that area, you can do that. But if, like, I don't know how it would work. I've never done that. Like, if you bought a vehicle in a state that didn't have state tax, but then if you're going to register it in your place that you live, I think you still have to pay tax on it regardless. So I don't know all the ins and outs of that. So I don't want to give you false information. I don't know. But back to your truck. What's the towing capacity on that? You're going to use that to pull your new trailer, I would think, your new camper? Angelina, living below your means is a lifesaver. Totally agree with that. Been doing this for years. Good for you. And a low salary. Well, that's a blessing because it's not easy. Good job. It has gotten me through some pretty rough times. See? It gets you through. I can't stress how important that is. Totally agree. Look, if you guys get nothing else from me, I mean, live below your means, and as long as what you're doing is not hurting anyone, do you. Master of Reality, aka Joe, love and respect. Hey Sam, read The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. I'll check it out. What's the bottom line with that book? What does it basically say? Live below your means? Liz, Broward is Fort Lauderdale. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you, Liz, love and respect. Brazilian Portuguese. Do you ever miss living in an apartment? No, I lived in a condo. I owned a condo for 15 years. It was interesting you asked me that question. I don't miss it at this point. I mean, I lived in my car now for a year and a half. When I was walking through Lowe's today, I was just walking around getting some exercise, and I walked through Lowe's, the hardware store. Now, usually it makes me throw up when I walk around that hardware store. But when I was walking there today, I had like a reflection of my bedroom, and I had it set up with like a nice, deep, dark, like plum color purple with like some nice shit, and it was real relaxed, and I set it up like a moonlight. It was real, and I was just reflecting on. I mean, look, certainly there's some value. There was years that I did enjoy my condo, and there is value obviously in having a fixed location as far as like if you set it up the way you want. But for me at this point in my life, I just don't desire it. And I got sick of it. I got sick of, and even I had good neighbors, but I got sick of the same neighbors. I got sick of the same supermarkets, the same area. Everything has pros and cons. This life isn't, I mean, some people don't even think it, some people think it's crazy still. And even people that like it, I mean, look, there's still negatives. But like I say, as I transition, as my journey evolves, I will look at, whether it's a motorhome. Will I look at a shack or a tiny home? Down in Florida, there's more of an option of a tiny home because they have a lower level of square footage house restrictions. There's a lot of older houses that are very small that you can buy for cheap. Look, the end goal, however you define it for you, the end goal is just to live below your means, whether you're living mobile or whether you're living in a fixed area. So the only thing I will say that I will always do going forward is, and not for me at this point, not just living below my means, but I want to make sure I want to live as simply as possible. Because, for those who follow this channel, I mean, that's my original intent when I sold my house, was to just buy a smaller condo on the beach. Because I wanted to be more by the beach. And I was paying a lot to be in a good public school district, to be in a good area, but I didn't need that because I don't have kids. I don't want kids. So I said, I was spending if I added up my mortgage and my utilities and my taxes, everything equal to about $2,500 a month. For my living expenses. So I figured I could buy a small little one-bedroom or studio condo on the beach and cut that in half to $1,200. And that's my goal. That was what I was going to do. I just couldn't find one that I liked, and I knew I wanted to go to Florida. I didn't want to stay in Jersey, but at that time I didn't have a transfer of a job, so I was like, well, I don't want to buy a property in Florida even if it's half of what I'm paying now, because I don't know how often I'm going to be able to be there. So I was like in limbo. So that's when somebody recommended the RV Life, and that's when I started looking on YouTube and all the different downsizing options. And eventually, once you look at one subject on YouTube, one video, then it recommends other similar ones, and that's how it evolved for me, seeing other people living like alternate ways, mobile and stuff like that. Brazilian says, are you comfortable in the winter? No. Very honest with that. The past 2 winters in the Northeast, horrible. This winter was the worst. It was for about a month straight. It was negative below zero. Um, no, I mean I got sick. There's a huge sacrifice. It's better. I mean, obviously, in the summer it's hot, and in the winter it's cold, and you know it's uncomfortable, and there's sacrifice. Now, unless you have the ability, which now I'm starting to have the ability as I transferred into a remote position, you can travel with the weather. Then you have a little bit of flexibility where you can, if you could travel with the weather, if you're retired or if you work remotely or if you have your own investments you can live off of, then you can get around it by just traveling on the southern states in the winter and the northern states in the summer. You're still gonna the weather's still gonna get you sometimes, but staying in New Jersey for the past 2 winters in the New Jersey area, I don't think, definitely if you weren't in top physical shape, you would hurt yourself. But how do you get around that if you don't have a remote position? Then what you have to do for like a month or so is maybe rent an apartment for 1 month, or go to a hotel room for 2 weeks. You can get around it, and you still still win the 7 game series of your downsizing life, of your mobile life. So just because you're mobile, you live out of an RV, car, van, whatever, you can still rent a hotel room. You can still rent apartment for 1 month if you wanted to like get around that. So that's my thoughts on that. Brazilian, do you ever worry you might run into car problems? Well, I've had a couple car issues. I've had to put my not. I mean, I had to put my car in the shop for a day. I had an exhaust fan. I went out, did a video on that. For a day, I had to put it in the shop, get a couple tires changed and things. If I have any major issues, I mean, I'll rent a car. I'm living so below my means. I mean, I rent a car. And I know people. I mean, it's not like I don't know. I mean, I've people I know all throughout different states. But even if I was in a state I didn't know anyone, I mean, if I was really in a pinch, I'd just rent a car. I mean, even when I'm in a state that I know somebody, I still rent a car because I don't like to bother people unless I actually have to. So I just rent a car. That's all. I mean, when you're living below your means, that's why. Why do you live below your means? Because emergencies happen. Because you're gonna have days in life where you lose, where your car breaks down. It sucks. There's no easy answer. Believe me, I wish we can win every day. But the answer is when you live below your means, you have the extra capacity and means to deal with that so that you don't blow a gasket and that you can still stay inspired. Good questions. Angelina. You can always set up your car the way you want it and add some stuff to the interior. That's right. Look, I mean, to me, I love living in my car. The biggest challenge is just parking sometimes, but I love it at this point in my life. It's inspiring to me. Now, some people wouldn't be, but again, you got to live life for you, not for anyone else. Scotty B. Sam, I just uploaded my truck video. I'm going to check that out, brother. I'm going to check that out. Also, while I'm on that subject, shout out to Academia, who did another great video review. Love and respect. I love watching Academia's videos. So I'm going to check yours out, Scotty, because I'm interested. As soon as I end this live feed, I'm going to go for one more walk, and then when I lay down, and what I do, like at the end of the night, is I just lay down for an hour. I watch YouTube. I put my earbuds in. I lay down in the back of my Jeep, put my window covers up, and I unwind, just like I would do at my house. Like the last hour, at my house during the course of a night, I would just, turn off all my lights in my house, watch a little bit TV, and shut it down. So at the end of the night, living in my car, put all my window covers up, get to my spot, put my earbuds in, get back there, and watch YouTube on my phone for an hour or so, and then go to bed. So I'm going to watch your video on YouTube. Not much of a YouTuber. That's all right. Just do you. To talk to yourself in front of a camera and the truck towing is you have a towing capacity saying about to 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. Well, you can tow most campers with that capacity. The Jeep Renegade, I looked at the specs, can only tow 2,000 pounds, and you never want to tow more than 80% capacity of your tow rating. I would say 50% is probably better to shoot for. So you have to be mindful. Janice, you can buy a cheap house down there and live in the driveway. Well, that's what I'm looking at that. I'm looking online. Housing prices are up. I mean, if I go inland, if I go in the central part of wherever, whether it's east, west, or whatever, if I go into the central part of Florida in a remote town, there's dirt cheap houses. I mean, even some on the East Coast in bad neighborhoods, I saw a lot for $5,000, but it was like next to a trap house. So, it's, I don't want to do that. I don't, I don't want to buy a $5,000 lot, park my car there, and you know what I mean? And it's a horrible neighborhood that I can't sleep at night. So, price is still always relative, right? So, and then I think to myself, well, why buy a $5,000 lot or something like that, either in the middle of nowhere in a bad neighborhood, when I just there's places where you can I've done where you can free camp for up to 15 days, and they're in the middle of nowhere. So why in Florida? So why buy uh, a piece of property with a small house on it in the middle of nowhere, where I could just go in the middle of nowhere and camp for free for 14 days, then go to the next one and just keep rotating. If I can work mobile, and which I can, I mean, so and just I just need the internet. I need to be able to go to a Starbucks or something to do my business. Then I may just do that. I mean, I am looking at some, but the more and more I look at them, it's not worth it yet. But I got my eye out there. Good question. I mean, good comment. Master of Reality, aka Joe. Let me get a water break real quick. The book is about people who live below. Okay, just like your friend at the construction job. Okay, usually the financial set people live in bread and butter neighborhoods and drive old cheap cars. Well, that's true to a certain extent. I mean, definitely in the middle class and all that. I mean, you know, when you and I've been there. Look, I drove a There was a certain part of my life where I drove a Jaguar. I had all fancy clothes, fancy jewelry, and I was in debt. But people looked at me and said, "Oh, you know, you're successful." I mean, now I walk around. You know, some people think I look bummy. You know, I got a small little Jeep, and people say, "Oh, prove to me that you're rich." I mean, like that's the backwards of society, is that they look at you when you have a nice car, nice clothes, and they say this person made it, but that's when you're really struggling. And when you're really living very simple, in many cases, you know, you have a lot. So it's the backwards mindset. You know, like I said, you always want to be not normal to some extent. Normal people are suffering. 80% of people live in paycheck to paycheck. I mean, it's a mindset. So, the other thing I would share is just, and I don't know too. Like, once you get to a point of like you're really content with life, you know, buying stuff. If buying stuff like made me happy, I would do it. But I mean, I don't have any like passion to buy stuff, and I think about this is key. This is what I want to share. Very important for me. Living below my means and minimalizing is not just about financial. It's about mental health. What does that mean? When I looked at that motorhome this weekend, and when I look at acquiring something now, I don't just look at the financial expense. I look at the mental expense. Meaning, if I'm going to buy a RV or motorhome with a lot of components, I look at the aggravation it's going to cost me, even if I have the financial capacity. Not to say I can't deal with it or that I won't, but I'm mindful of that. I'm not just buying just because I can afford it. I'm thinking about how it affects my mental quality of life. And for me, that's very important. I want to be in a good space. Good comment. Jeffy, what's up, Jeff? Hey, Sam. Hello to you. I just discovered your channel. I've been watching your videos from 2017. Thank you. Yeah, it's been an evolution. Thank you, brother. I listen to your excellent advice while I'm at work. Thank you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, Jeff. Love and respect. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Jeff. Means a lot. Appreciate that. BBT, what's up, BBT? BBT coming to hot with Joe. Let's see. I saw a bumper sticker today on a Ford Transit. Those are cute. And thought about you, Sam. What did it say? It read, if you lived in your car, you'd be home by now. Yes. I gotta look for that sticker online. That's true. If you live in your car, you'd be home by now. I think about that often. I don't ever have to deal with rush hour again. For the most part, I mean, you know, there's still times you get caught in traffic, God forbid, accident or something, but everywhere I go is my home. How does that help me? That helps me, again, mentally. Not just financially, mentally. I remember days going into my job, and I'd get all the way to my job. I'd commute, even if it was a short commute, 20, 30 minutes, get to my job, and I'd forget something I need for work. And then I'd get to the job. I was like, oh, shit, I got to go all the way back to my house. Fuck, in my mind. And so I go all the way back to my house, then I'm running late for work. You know, now, I mean, I remember like the first couple of weeks I started doing it, and like I got to my job or something. I said, oh, I forgot something. I started thinking I got to go all the way back to my house. I said, oh, everything I own is right here. All I got to do is go out to my car. When I go to the beach and fly, you know, all my swim trunks are always with me. Like I never go to the beach and say, oh, I can't go swimming because I forgot my swimming trunks. You know, my swimming are always with me, so I can always go swimming. You know, and so I like that. Yolanda at Better Video Tubes, true that. Ricardo, love and respect you. Think about you today. I just want to let you know I love you. And I appreciate you, and I love you. All right? Gotta go forward. I love you. Ricardo, what's good, Sam? Hope you had a good weekend. You too, brother. Love to you, Ricardo. Thank you for checking in, Ricardo. Got love for you. Josh, just had a concrete driveway put in this week. Oof. 12 grand later. Yep, I remember my mom doing that. I'm looking at it and thinking that Sam is onto something. I totally understand that. Growing up, we had a gravel driveway, and then I remember pressing my mom that I wanted a basketball. I wanted a basketball hoop in our driveway, and I was like, but she had to pave the driveway because we had all gravel. I couldn't bounce the basketball, and so eventually she got it paved. But I remember at that time, whatever it was only like 5-7 grand, and that was whatever 30 years ago or whatever it was. I mean, I don't know, 25 years ago, whatever. And look, one thing I could tell you is, I mean, it's nice, especially if you have a family and all that, but when you own a house, it never stops. Again, a lot of people should still have a house, but you just have to remember at a small scale. But I totally feel your pain, brother. But also, congratulations. And that's a good investment. I mean, it's something that has to be done. It's like almost a piece of infrastructure. When you invest in your house, really the infrastructure, the quality of the concrete, the electrical panel, the furnace, the water heater, the infrastructure, those are the most important investments that pay off, because the decor, the chandelier, all those different type of things, those are all eye candy that most people, even when they buy your house, they're going to change it. But the core infrastructure is what you should invest in, and paving your driveway, I consider that core infrastructure. So it's money well spent, even though I know it sucks. BBT at Yolanda, thank you. Danielle, what's up? Hey, Sam from Amy, I hope I said that right, in Missouri. Love and respect to the Midwest. Love and respect to Missouri. Good to see you. Thank you. Josh, and no joke, one of the workers had a water bottle and wrote, "Stay hydrated. Love and respect to Star Pack." On the side of it, I had to take a pic. Let me stay hydrated to that. That's a good comment. Star Pack, we thinking about you, brother. For those who don't know, we have a viewer that comes here all the time. He came here in the beginning of the live chat called Star Pack. He's from Illinois, and he always reminds me to stay hydrated. Thank you, Star Pack. Thank you, Josh. Love and respect to you, too, and your son, Josh. Love and respect. Scotty B. You're right about the free camping in Florida. Yep. Also, too, let me just plug that. If you're looking for free camping in Florida, you go to Water Management. What is it? Water Management. Florida Water Management website. I think Google that, because it's not called BLM land like in the West. It's called Bureau of Land Management for free camping. In Florida, it's called the Florida Water Management website, and they'll tell you on the state different preserves and parks that you can camp at for free for up to 14 days. Now, usually they're remote. I mean, they're not like next to the beach, and you have to register. You have to apply for a permit online, so you have to go through all that. But they're out there if you wanted to move around. Now, like I said, there's always hidden costs. So you may spend an extra $25 in gas if you want to go to the beach every day to go back and forth from the coast inland to that park. So, could you spend that $25, just paying for a campground close to the beach? Because I think Jonathan Dickinson Park is only like $27 a night to temp camp, but they're always busy. You got to be careful. I was checking them out online. He's talking about those free campsites. And help from you doing videos helps a lot. Thank you. So we know what they look like. Thank you, Scotty B. Appreciate that, brother. Master of Reality, a.k.a. Joe. Agree on towing capacity, Sam. First thing you should look at is what they can tow. Yep. Be careful when taking a salesman's word, basically, because sometimes they don't know. That's right. Do your own homework. Yes, definitely. Salesmen, look, at the end of the day, even there's some good ones out there, and men and women that are good salesmen. But you have to do your own research, because look, they don't know every truck, and they have an agenda to sell. I mean, so yeah, definitely agree with that. Scotty B. Sam, check out a guy on YouTube. I saw him. I checked him out. Van City Van Life. He's okay. I checked him out. He has a good video on living in a van. That brother's from Canada too, right? Because I believe I was watching a couple of his videos. He got a purple Class B. Yeah, I was checking him out. Love and respect. A lot of people. I was surprised. There's a lot of people in Canada full time. Now, you'd think because it's cold up there, they don't do it. But, I mean, I guess they migrate down maybe a couple months out of the year or whatever. But a lot of people, and one of the first people that I watched on YouTube that inspired me there was a channel called Justin in a Van. But I think he didn't, I don't know if he deleted his channel, he stopped doing them. But his whole journey was about he bought a Class B from Canada. and then he went down to Florida, and that's why I started watching him. And that was like 3, 4 years ago. So love and respect to Canada. There's some Canadians that inspired me. Josh, you seem less amped up and silly tonight. You good, homie? Yeah, I'm good. I'm always authentic to the moment. So some nights I'm really intense. Some nights I'm calm. I don't want to fake it just to fake it. I got to be true to the moment I'm in. But thank you for checking. Janice, 64,900 house in St. Augustine. Oh, okay. On Realtor. Less than Class B. Yeah, I looked in that area. I mean, that's a fair point. But the only downside, Janice, is it's not mobile. So I like the fact that I don't want to be next to fixed neighbors. I don't want to be next to a fixed area. If I get tired with a certain area, I want the ability to be able to move. For both my work, if God forbid I had to have to, and just for everything else. But, you know, a house tends to appreciate and a motorhome tends to depreciate. So there's a give and take there, which is a fair point. So, I mean, I'm looking at all options. I'm in no rush. Good. Thank you for that comment, Janice. Another one for $75,000. Yep, I've been looking. If I ever bought a house again or an RV lot, which I've also been looking at in Florida, what's the max I would spend? I would like to keep it at $100,000. I would like to spend less than $100,000. That's my goal. I would like my taxes to be less than $2,000 a year, which is very easily done in Florida. Up in New Jersey, forget about it. I was paying like $8,000 for a condo. And HOA fee, I mean, they suck if I ever have to get back into them, but $250 or less. And, you know, it is what it is. Usually you run around 200. Better Review Tubes. Check out hipcamp.com. Okay. It's a site where you can park, camp different places all over the country. Mostly on farms and on people's yards. Set up for nomads and mostly very inexpensive. Well, I'll check that out. That's a good suggestion, BVT. Thank you, brother. Janice, live in a driveway and rent it out. I don't want to be a landlord. I did videos on that. Nope. I appreciate the comment. Being a landlord is a job. It's aggravation for me. Some people may thrive in that, like my man Trent News from Canada. He's a real estate guy. He buys property and rents them out. I'm not like that. My mom had a multifamily. She rented out. It was a disaster. I don't have the mind. I don't have the personality that I want to be a landlord. So I already know that's not going to work for me. It may work for some other people though. Scotty B. The full-timers in Canada are in Vancouver. Oh, okay. It don't get that cold in British Columbia. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yolanda at Better Video Tubes. Thank you, Thank you for the tone you always set. Yeah, BVT is a good brother. Thank you, BVT. BVT, buying an RV lot seems like a good idea. It's a possibility. Now, I think to myself, well, am I still better off though going to a campground, just not buying a lot and just buying, I don't know. Because then I still got to buy the RV, right? If I buy an RV lot, I checked into them. You can't just park your van there or your car. You got, technically, you have to have an RV. So, now a travel trailer you can get for $10,000, $15,000 new, but I don't have the towing capacity for them. Now you can get, I did look into it, you can get them delivered to your site, but then if a hurricane came, I'd have to rent a car or have somebody move it. I mean, that's the whole thing too, you guys gotta remember too. You know, I'm a Floridian, I'm living in Florida, so I have to understand that no matter what, even if there's a year where there isn't hurricanes are something you have to be mindful of. I don't want a house. Now, if you're in St. Augustine, that's northern Florida, you're not going to get too many hurricanes because, you know, you're a little bit away from it. But for me, I mean, part of being mobile is the asset of flexibility. If there's a hurricane coming, I could just start my car, RV, whatever, and I'm out of there. Even if I have I'll buy a piece of land or RV lot. So that's a huge for me in that state. Yolanda, Better YouTube says, thank you, Yolanda. It's tough behaving, but I try hard. You're a good guy, man. Thank you very much. Janice, Vancouver, and Victoria. I didn't know that. Josh, you know, if you ever come through Indiana, you can camp at my new fancy ass driveway. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And I'll take you to the school on the new hoop too. Look, ever since I broke my finger, I don't know if you see that this finger doesn't come off. That was the last time. I think I was like 32 years old, and I was playing basketball, full court game in a playground, and somebody threw a fast ass pass. I was playing with young kids, broke my finger. My whole finger snapped backwards. I had to go to a hospital. When your finger dislocates or any joint dislocates, you know the answer is they just pull it back in place. There's no magical answer for most times. So I went to the emergency room. That's all they did. She just yanked it into place, and she couldn't get it the first time. She had to yank it twice. She was kind of hot too. I'm done. I'm retired. I don't play hoop anymore, but thank you for the offer, brother. Thank you for the offer to stay. Thank you. Love and respect, Josh. BBT, get him, Josh. Liz, if you bought an RV lot and had lots to, I'd move in. No, definitely. I mean, look, it'd be all love, man. If I had that, I gotta think about that. I'm thinking about it. Thank you, Liz. Scotty B. Thanks, BBT. I'll check that site out. It could be handy. I'm gonna check that out too. BBT, what part of US are you at, Yolanda? BBT says, thank you, Scotty. Liz gonna come in hot. She's gonna camp out. Liz, what are you living out of? All right, guys, girls. I had a good night. I'm very thankful. Look, I mean, part of what I'm thankful for is this just gives me an opportunity to talk. Liz from Broward. But what are you living out of? What are you living out of? What type? A vehicle, house? I forgot. Liz says a condo rental. Okay, so you got some flexibility. You can get out of there and maybe do something else. Okay. Love to you, Liz. BBT says South Carolina here. I know BBT represents South Carolina hard. I always go through South Carolina when I'm on my way down to Florida. Love and respect the south of the border. There was a guy who stole my video from south of the border, and then he criticized it. Oh, what a disaster. Better Video Tubes. Show Me State. Oh, is that what that's called? The Show Me State? I didn't know that. Thank you for saying that. I didn't know that. What, New Jersey's called the Garden State. Does that inspire me? Not really. What's Florida called? The Sunshine State. Does that inspire me? Yes, with endless summer ice plates. And then Yolanda gave 3 smile emojis. All right, guys, girls. Love, respect. Have a peaceful night. Remember, life is like a 7-game series. You may lose some days. You may have some bad days. Don't try to overcompensate. Take the L. Refocus. Push forward. Sam John says, Sam, I got to move. Putting in my earphones. I got to go to work. I'll catch you. Have a great night. Thank you. Beverly 2 says, Missouri is the Show Me State. And I shall be in the endless summer Sunshine State. Jeff, peace to you. BBT. Peace, love, and respect to South Carolina. Palmetto State. Love and respect. Sound John, go for a walk. Everyone right now, go for a walk. Change your life. Janice, bye.